Hey YouTube family, it's me. I'm back. Mrs. Rains here with a little chit chat. As you can tell from the title of this video, I'm on my way out to a doctor's appointment. It's time for my annual exam with my OBGYN, and I always look forward to this annual checkup because any questions I have or anything I want to know, it's really important to stay on top of women's health issues, and it's always good to go and ask everything and get it out of my system. Some things I probably have no business worrying about, but I do, and that's one thing I always want to stay on top of. I did have a friend recently who had, is still dealing with and had a bout with breast cancer, and she's my age, like we're literally the same age, and so her situation is very similar to mine in that I don't know the medical history on my father's side of the family, and so I'm gonna go today and really plead with my OBGYN for a mammogram. I'm not quite 40 yet, so I know that it will be he may kind of be like, yeah, whatever, but I'm gonna ask him anyway because I don't want to wait until it's too late, and it's really hard for me to check that myself. Not to be TMI, but I have a lot of density and a lot of fullness, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to do this kind of on the PC side, but the density and fullness means it's a little harder for self-examination. So I really want to get his insight. He might say that he doesn't feel anything to be worried about, but I still would feel better having a mammogram. So comment below if you have had one, and let me know what to expect, or should I be nervous about it. It's just still all new to me because when you're young, you're carefree, you don't think about things like this, and then now that I'm getting older, it's time to really get serious about women's health, even from the waist up. So there's that. Earlier this past week, actually last week going into this week, hubby got sick and we had to go to the emergency room and all of that. He's fine now, but he has a checkup tomorrow that I'm going to accompany him on. And so, like, men who are close to 40 or in their 40s, if you're watching this video, or if you are married or have a loved one, or brothers, uncles, cousins, whatever it is, significant other, boyfriend, whatever you got going on, please make them go in. If you sense something is wrong, go in, get it checked out. It's worth it to be healthy, and to make sure everything is going okay in there. And I don't get this confused with my faith. I do believe that God gets the glory in all circumstances, and I do believe that the Lord is our great healer. But in the same token, I do believe you need to be a good steward of the body that he gave you. And if that means, seeing a doctor on a regular basis, you need to do that. Don't let your poor choices and health be the reason why you succumb early. So, I know it's all in God's timing, but at the same time, we have a responsibility ourselves. So that's enough of my medical rant. Moving forward, so while my hubby was out of commission, our dear sweet CJ had his first flat tire, and he called me up. I was on my way to work actually, and he called me and he was like, Mom, it doesn't sound right. I pulled over and then I got out and I realized my tire is flat. I'm a little freaked out, and so I went to him to try to help him take care of that flat tire. He did 90% of the work. I did help him out a little bit because it was his first time. He has changed the flat tire before. Our youth group at church has a youth leader who is really intent on them becoming young men in Christ. So he has shown them how to change tires. My husband has shown him how to change tires. He's gone with my husband to change tires of ladies in the fellowship who don't have a man around to do these things for them. Older ladies, obviously. So my son is well versed in tire changing, but it was his first tire himself. His car is about 20 years old, almost 20 years old, at least 20 years old in 2018. So And realistically, it was probably built in 27. I mean, it probably was built in 97 to be a 1998 model year car. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's about 20 years old. So, you know, of course, it's a little rough around the edges, but you don't want their first car to be, you know, brand new. You want them to have a few struggles because then they appreciate it. But nonetheless, went out, tried to help him with the flat. Of course, we had some issues, and, you know, the car fell off the jack with the tire off. And of course, you know, this is kind of difficult for CJ because he's still, you know, maturing into manhood. So he was having a hard time with that. I contacted my husband. He said, you know, come home, leave him with the car, come home and get, he has actually a jack kit. And I highly recommend this for anyone who has the space to keep some things like this. Hubby has a jack kit, and the jack kit comes with a jack stand and a hydraulic jack and all that kind of stuff. Actually comes with 2 jack stands, I believe. So I was able to get those things, and the hydraulic jack is so much easier to lift than the little scissor jack that comes with, you know, older cars. So he was able to use the hydraulic jack and the jack stand and get the tire changed and get the spare tire, or, you know, donut on the car. Well, he went to work, everything was fine. By the time he came home from work, he had a blowout on the donut, meaning the donut, the tire kind of split. And I don't know if it's just, you know, it could have been a couple things. The tire itself is older, so it could have been that it was just older and brittle. And it also could have been that it didn't have enough air. There's a lot of things that go along with it, but, you know, we went ahead and purchased a brand new tire for him. And he took me last night with him to pick up the tire because I wanted him to see how that works. We actually have a, you know, a plan on our tires so that we can go back and get one. We got a replacement tire, and he was able to put that on this morning before going to work under the supervision of my husband, obviously, because we want him to be safe. And you don't want a car to fall on your 17-year-old son. But it was really a good experience for him. I felt bad for him, though, because I felt like it was heartbreaking for that car to fall off the jack, because I think he blamed himself. But really, there's a couple things going on. Like, we needed to wedge the tires. There was a couple of things going on there that weren't entirely his fault. But he did a really great job. I'm really proud of him for, you know, handling it. I know it sounds like it's not that big of a deal. It's just a flat tire. But, I mean, we've prepared him that these are the things you must do. You know, he's been shown how to do oil, you know, how to check for oil and all that kind of stuff. Because when you drive a car, it's a big responsibility to maintain it and to operate it. So I'm confident that he understands now what we mean by maintenance and stuff like that. The other thing that's really good about what has happened with this this situation, I'm glad that this is happening now while he still lives with us, while he's still under our roof, while he's still, you know, close to home. Because, you know, when he's in college, we won't be right there with him, and some things he's just going to have to handle on his own. So I really feel like this was a good experience for him overall, and it was necessary, really. So, you know, I'm grateful we were there to help him. We did get a plan on the tire that we purchased so that no matter what happens, if he has like a nail in the tire or anything like that, he can take it back to the place where we get our tires done, and they will fix it free of charge. And if they can't fix it, the replacement is prorated. So, like, for instance, the tire we got was, you know, around $15 because we had it insured when we first got the tires, and they're still fairly, you know, reasonably new. So the next step is to obviously buy him a new spare. There's a couple things going on to, you know, where we probably could try to do that this weekend sometime. He's going to be gone over the weekend. He and Cameron are going on a youth retreat with church. They're very excited about that. It'll be CJ's last youth retreat because obviously he won't be a youth anymore after this year. And if he did go back, he would have to go back as a chaperone. And this is Cam's first youth retreat because he wasn't old enough until now to go. So it's kind of bittersweet for both of them, and it'll be their only time going together. So they're very excited about it and looking forward to it. So we got a lot to do today. After my appointment, I need to go home and check on hubby, make sure he has what he needs and he's comfortable before heading out to work. And then once I head out to work, I actually have to leave work, come home, make a little supper, and I've got to supervise the kids packing. I need to, well, CJ knows what to pack. He's been on the retreat, you know, many times before, or at least a couple of times before, and I just need to make sure Cam has what he needs packed because they leave tomorrow for the retreat, tomorrow, which is Friday. So today you're watching this video, it is Thursday. I also need to do a couple of errands, like get some toiletries for them. So I'll be on my way now. My appointment is not for a little while, but in the same plaza as my doctor, I am going to see if I can stop by. There's a Target and there's a Five Below, and there's also a supermarket. So I'm going to try to see if I can get some toiletries for them, like some travel size things for them. They basically just need like body wash, a travel size deodorant maybe, and a travel size, maybe a travel toothbrush, stuff like that, and a travel size shampoo conditioner. The reason why is because they have to pack really light because their area is pretty small. Where their bunk is, they have to keep all their stuff near their bunk. And the camp they're going to is on the side of a mountain, so you can imagine you kind of don't want to have a whole lot of gear. And there's a lot of other kids going, so they want to make sure they're not using up too much space. Yeah, so that's what I'm on my way to do. Get them some toiletries and head to the doctor, cook when I get home. I gotta go to work for a few hours. I'm only working, I think, from 1 to 5, so that should be pretty good. I also need to get some things for the house, but I might just wait on that until the weekend. And yeah, tomorrow's hubby's appointment, so we'll do that, and then I'll do a little bit of shopping because we are supposed to get snow on Saturday. I think about the weather. It's like 65 degrees today. I know, right? It was snowing Saturday. It was raining sometime earlier in the week. Then that went away. And it was just bitterly cold. Like, it got into the teens at night. It was like, the highs every day was like 21, 24 degrees. And now today, it's like the calm before the storm because the sun is shining. It's beautiful outside. I haven't had to turn on the heat. I'm actually thinking about turning on the air conditioning because I'm probably going to cook in here if the sun stays the way it is. But it's 65 degrees. It's beautiful out. It's gorgeous out. Like, I love it. I have a dress on today actually because it's so nice out. But then tomorrow we're supposed to get rain, and then Saturday we're supposed to get snow and sleet. So I can't call it with the weather. I'm just going to check the weather every morning and figure out what to do. I need to make sure the kids are packed up with layers so they can go either way because, of course, on the side of a mountain, things are a little bit different. They'll be in the cabin most of the time, or in the dorm most of the time, and in the eating area and all that. But they do go outside. There is usually a bonfire. There's usually things like that outside. So, and they usually, you know, get a football game going or something like that. I've been on the retreat with CJ at least once. I really like the camp, and hopefully they have a good time. If we get sleet and rain, that means they'll probably get snow. It's about a 4-hour drive away from where we live, so there's also no cell phones because there's no signal. They do have a phone for emergencies, obviously, but there is no cell phones allowed at the retreat anyway. You're supposed to be getting closer to God, so I get that. So it's going to be a little bit different not having in contact with them. I was able to go before and I got to see why it is the way it is. There's just really no cell service on the top of a mountain. It just isn't. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting close right now to the plaza where I'm going to my appointment. I just wanted to kind of have a little chit chat with you guys, let you know what was going on with us. I do have a couple videos to film. I know I need to film one about an unboxing that I'm doing. I got some really neat goodies to show you guys. And, you know, I've been getting asked why don't I do certain type of videos. Like, people message me and ask me, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? And I really just do the videos that I like to do that are, you know, I'm not about view count. I'm not about subscribers and all of that. I love subscribers, don't get me wrong. I love y'all. Y'all are like family to me, the ones that subscribe. I love for new subscribers to subscribe because I like to know that I'm, you know, that I'm actually putting up something that people like, people that are like new to my channel that they like. It's, you know, although I put up what I want to put up, I also enjoy that you're getting something out of it. So your comments mean a lot to me. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the love and support that I get, and I appreciate the positive messages I get. I do get quite a bit of negative messages, and I just pretty much delete and block the user on those. I don't give that too much fanfare. But at the same time, I want to be, I'm not striving to be likable. I just want to be, I want to be honest with you guys. And so I do have this unboxing. I haven't done an unboxing before for products, and I'm not being sponsored by anyone, but I still wanted to share with you what I'm doing, what I'm using in my home, what I'm wearing, like any of that kind of stuff. I want to share with you. I was trying to do outfits way back when. If you've been with me for a while, you know I did that like 3 years ago. It felt kind of weird, and people were like, oh, you're showing off, you know, this or that, and that's not modest, and blah blah blah. Not meaning my outfit was modest, but me being showy or showing my outfit was not modest. But I don't know how that works in somebody's mind. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys. I love you and thank you for watching and supporting the channel. It means a lot to me. But yeah, that's about it for today's video. I hope to put up that video tomorrow with the unboxing so you guys can see. I'm gonna try to film that tonight. But anyway, put God at the head of all you do. I love you and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.